What's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a bonus video for you, and I'm going to show you how I made these Twinkie cake pops for my son's birthday party. My son just turned 3 recently. Happy birthday, my Noah. And I wanted to share with you guys how I made these cake pops for his party. I always make cake pops for every single party that I go to, but I was trying to think of something that would be a little bit faster because cake pops take a long time. I mean, you gotta bake the cake. After you bake the cake, you gotta let it cool. Once you let it cool, you gotta let it all crumble into the thing. You add just the right amount of icing, and then you're finally ready to start rolling them into the balls, so on and so forth. At any rate, I wanted to eliminate that whole first part, so I thought the best way to do that would be to just use Twinkies because they already have that cream filling in there, so it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to make the cake pops faster. Eliminates that whole first part of the process that I just told you guys. So, without further ado, now that I've pretty much went over the entire video, let me show you how I made these Twinkie cake pops. Okay guys, materials are in the description box below. We're going to start by taking a Twinkie package, opening it up, and bloop, putting it right into the bowl. So we're going to do that with all of the Twinkies in one full package of Twinkies. And for those of you familiar with making cake pops, you know what a savior this is to not have to worry about mixing up the cake first, then putting just the right amount of icing in there so that everything is perfect. In this case, you just put all the Twinkies into the bowl. The cream from the Twinkies is all that you need for that icing part of the cake pop. You're going to mix them all up in a mixer and you're ready to go. Now, for those of you who don't have a stand mixer like this, I would highly suggest using a hand mixer. You can mix these by hand. However, I do not feel you will get them the exact consistency that they need to be. So that's why I feel it's very important to either use a hand mixer or a stand mixer like this. So once you get it to a dough-like consistency like this, looking pretty good, you're going to go ahead and add another full pack of Twinkies. So I just did the same process I just did, added them in. Now I'm going to put them down into the mixer and mix all of those up. You want to make sure everything is mixed thoroughly. You want to make sure that there's no white showing from the cream of the Twinkie or any of the cake parts of the Twinkie. You want everything to be mixed and look like a dough type situation because that's what cake pops are. So it doesn't take long to mix them, but after you mix them for a little while, making sure that they're the right consistency, you're going to turn off your mixer, take a look at it, looking pretty good. You're going to plop everything down into the bowl and we're ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so we're going to take this very beat up pan that I have here, pretty awesome. We're going to add some wax paper to the pan. So you just measure it to the length of the pan and you plop it down in there. Now you could cut this to fit, but I don't bother. I'm always in a hurry. I just plop it in, move on to the next step. Okay, now you're going to take a cookie scoop and you're going to use that to scoop out the dough-like mixture that we've created. So you're going to take your cookie scoop, scoop some of it out, plop it into your hand and roll it into a small ball, and you're going to put that small ball onto the cookie sheet. Now for those of you who do not have a cookie scoop like this, you could simply use a very large spoon or something like that just to get these roughly the same size is the idea. I also want to point out that once you're done rolling all of these, since this dough has been through a lot, like we mixed it in the mixer a couple of times, now we're doing all of this to get it onto the pan, I like to let it rest for 15 minutes before I put it into the refrigerator. So you're going to want to leave this on the counter, let everything rest for 15 minutes, then you're going to take this pan, put it into your refrigerator for another 15 to 20 minutes to let those cool before moving on to the next step. As you can see, I had to adjust them a little bit so that I could fit everything onto the pan properly, but I ended up with roughly 21 balls. And as you can see, some of the ones in the very beginning are a little bit smaller. I just added some more dough to make them about the same size. Now while they're in the refrigerator, we're going to take our candy melts, and I have this Chocolate Pro candy melter. For those of you that don't have this, you can simply put these in a bowl, put them in the microwave to melt the chocolate down. I like to use this because I can just put it in here. I don't have to worry about it, just mix it occasionally while the chocolate melts. Now that the chocolate is completely melted, as you can see, it never, and I mean never, gets to be the right consistency. So to make it the right runny consistency we need, we're going to use some vegetable oil, to make it a little bit easier for dipping the cake pops. So I can't tell you how much to add here. I just add a little bit in there. I mix it up. And if I feel it's not the right consistency, then I'll just add a little more. You don't want it to be too runny, but you don't want it to be too thick either. You got to find that perfect balance. And I find that the perfect balance is once it runs off the spoon smoothly, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to take these paper straws and I'm going to use those for the sticks on my cake pops. So you're going to take the straw, you're going to dip it into the chocolate, and of course you're going to shake off any excess there, and then you're just going to plop it down into the cake pop ball. Now make sure that you don't push them in too far because you don't want it to come out to the other side. Once you have all of that done, you're going to put this back into the refrigerator for another, 5 minutes or so until the chocolate's hardened. So once you come back, 9 times out of 10, this is going to be too thick again. So just add a little bit more vegetable oil and that will take care of that situation. Make sure you mix it thoroughly just like before. Now that it's all mixed, you're going to take one of the cake pops. I like to dip mine at an angle. I just roll it into the chocolate and then I just hold it at an angle and I just tap it on the side of the bowl, just getting rid of any excess chocolate that's on the cake pop. Now this is the longest, most tedious part about this process because I like to make sure I get almost all of the excess chocolate off, and that takes a little while. So you're going to stand here just tapping until you get all of that excess chocolate off of the cake pop. This is honestly the worst part about the process, but you don't want this to be too thick because nobody wants to bite into a ton of chocolate and no cake pop, if you know what I'm saying. So I just feel like this is an important step that you need to take, even though it takes a little while to get everything to where you need it to be. It's totally worth it if you want these to be tasty, I guess you can say. So once you're done with that, you're going to plop it onto the pan here and you're just going to hold it into place until it's perfectly set. I'm going to show you this from another angle because I'm not sure that you got the gist of what I was doing from that angle. So you're just going to dip it in at an angle, hold it at an angle, and see how I'm tapping it off and all of that excess chocolate is kind of falling to the bottom of the cake pop where the stick is. You're just going to keep rolling it and tapping it until all of that excess chocolate is off of the cake pop. So it's literally just tap, roll, until you have all of that excess chocolate off of the cake pop. And another important thing that I want to point out is once you're done tapping it and you get all of the chocolate off of there, the excess chocolate off of there, when you put it back onto the pan, make sure you hold it in place for just a minute, because if you don't give it a second to set, then it's going to just slide right out of place on that wax paper. So that's why it's important to hold it just for a few seconds to let that chocolate set up enough so that you can move on to the next cake pop. As I'm doing here, see, and I let go of it a little too soon and it starts to slide. So I grab it, hold it back into place to make sure it stays where I need it to, and I move on to the next one. Okay, now that that part's completely done, you're going to take them and put them back into your refrigerator until the chocolate's hardened. I don't have a time limit here, just keep checking it. Okay, now that all that's done, I'm going to take these Wilton treat bags. I got these at Joann Fabrics. I'll link them in the description box below, but they're the perfect size for the cake pops. I'm going to plop my cake pop into the bag, and they come with these twist ties. I normally use ribbon, but I was running low on time, so I'm just going to twist the bag a little bit so that the twist tie goes on there a lot easier. Put the little twist tie into place, and guess what, guys? These are done. Such an easy process. Love it. Okay, guys, like I said, that was a much easier way to make cake pops because anybody who's made these things before knows that you have to first mix the cake batter together, bake your cake, let your cake cool for like an hour, and then you got to crumble the cake, and then you have to make sure you add just the right amount of icing to the cake to make sure that you get the right consistency, and sometimes that takes a couple of tries. This process eliminated all of that. Now, I have to admit, I wasn't sure whether or not the Twinkies were actually going to work because I didn't know, how they have the cream in there. I didn't know if that was going to be the exact right amount of cream to make the consistency that you need for these cake pops. but it was perfect. So make no mistake, it is a perfect consistency. Just make sure when you mix it all together that it is thoroughly mixed, that you don't have any white stuff showing or anything like that. Everything's completely mixed, and I promise you the consistency is exactly the same as if you made regular cake pops. You just eliminated that whole first entire part of the whole baking the cake and all that stuff, which to me saved me a ton of time, made things so much easier, less dirty dishes, all of the above. Was so awesome. Now, I just wanted to also share with you guys, I do make these and like sell them on occasion. Like I don't make a whole business out of it, but I'm just saying I do make them a lot cleaner and nicer. I was in a very big hurry for this party because the guests were already here as I was finishing up the cake pops. Just saying, that's how late I was running. Nonetheless, I wanted to show you guys a method that you could do at home that would be really easy for you to do at home, just by dipping them and just leaving them upside down, let everything drip down, and not worry about them looking perfect. As long as they taste good, who cares, right? They have to look decent. I mean, nobody wants to eat anything that looks really crazy, but as long as they look decent, most people aren't going to bat an eye at how the chocolate has laid on the cake pop, and they're just going to bite into it and eat it. I promise you. They were delicious. I hope that you found this helpful or useful in some way. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, like, share, do all of those things to help other people find this channel. Thanks so much for taking the time to check this out, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye! What's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you a quick video. Hold on. What's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to... It's a bonus video. Okay. Again. What's up, gorgeous people? Again. What's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. In today's bonus video... It just doesn't sound right. Oh, what's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a bonus video for you, and I'm going to show you how I made these Twinkie cake pops. I what? Oh my gosh. Ugh. So using the Twinkies actually made it so much easier, and it cut everything that I had to do. Cut the time for making them in half. What's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Oh, I don't have that in. Making the cake to me is so annoying. Like you have to bake, you have to, mix the cake on it. Okay. Good.